Question now becomes, how should I use the freedom that God has given me? Christian freedom is not permission to live however we please. It is freedom from the condemnation and controlling power of sin, so that we may now live under the lordship of Jesus. We may still be tempted. We may still stumble from time to time. I know I do. And yet, this sin no longer is our master, is no longer our owner of us. It is the Holy Spirit that lives within us, in the believer, and empowers us to resist this type of temptation. And it leads us away from a life of sin into a new way of life. And that freedom came with a price. And Jesus was the one who purchased this through his blood, through his sacrifice and his works. This is where we get Christian liberty. It's not cheap. It's not casual. It's not self-centered. It carries a responsibility once you have it. And that is the central message for today's, the central theme of today's message. Because Jesus Christ purchased our freedom, and it came at a cost of his own life, we must exercise freedom responsibly, building up others, walking in love, glorifying God, and serving the gospel, and imitating Christ. In the handouts, we read the first point I'm putting out is freedom must build up others. And that brings us to the first two verses we're going to read in Corinthians 10, 23 to 24. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but not all things edify. Let no one seek his own, but each one the other's well-being. Paul begins with the phrase that the Corinthians were very similar or very used to using, saying that all things are lawful for them. And they did this thinking that, and we learned this in chapter 6, that they did this because it was type of a slogan they would use, because they felt now that they didn't fall under the condemnation or under the law or under worldly things. They fell under the grace of God and the grace that Jesus had provided them. Yet, they used this almost in a way as a defense for self-centered conduct. And that is a misuse of this type of understanding. Notice how he answers them. All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things edify, which means to build up. Let no one seek his own, but each one's other's well-being. But every but that we hear here corrects the direction of the thinker. They begin